Hi everyone, Scorp here. Today, I wanted to go over a deck profile for Duelist of the Roses Redux 2. This deck pretty much works in just about any mod, because it's a very, very simple deck to put together. Well, it might be hard to get some of the cards, but most of these are going to be super easy. So we'll just go ahead and go fight somebody. This deck is not particularly, like, it's strong enough to get through the game. It's not amazing. But it is... The point of this deck was I was asked to put together what an optimal Bakura list would look like in a challenge mod. So if you were to fight this person, you probably saw that at the beginning the deck cost was only 330. Which unfortunately means that a deck like this is going to be extremely prone to bricking and a whole bunch of other things. But if you're playing against it and the AI has it, you're going to be real sad. Because if the AI just goes off with this deck, you're not going to win. Because it's very hard to make a deck that is cheaper than this one. That can put out the same amount of power. And this is a little bit higher in cost than you could really get it down to, but at some point you really just lose out on all of your actual good cards, and we need some decent stuff in here. This will hurt a lot if I move it over. Oh, this is tears. Okay. Well, that's gonna hurt even more. I was going for the double kill. It did go 2 for 1, so that's nice. Well, maybe it did. This thing might be weak. Nope, it's a Nyan. Oh, that's fine. Basically, Dark Plants are like the best bit of removal in this deck. It feels bad to say that that's the best bit of removal we can play, but that's where we're at. But that's what you get for a 330 deck cost deck. Also, can we please draw a Fiend? Nope, okay. This is the main issue when you start putting decks together this cheap. They brick pretty bad. And if you give yourself another, like, 50 deck cost or so to work with, you can make them pretty non-bricky. Because I could just throw in a whole bunch more plants and fiends that are slightly more expensive. At some point, I will draw a Fiend, but there's 9 of them in the deck, so, you can't be expected to draw one in your top 10. That's just not possible. Nope, okay. That's very, very, very bad. It's okay, we have inevitability. That's the point of having the perfectly ultimate Great Moth stuff in here. Bye, Karyushin. But all this crushed terrain will give us a bunch of time to get ready, so... Maybe he won't attack the larva. Even if he does, I think my Muka can get over him at this point. And we're gonna have to start, like, discarding some cards, but it's okay. This is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, Call of the Haunted's not going to be very useful in this matchup, so we'll just discard it. Well, this better get over this. Okay, that's fine. You know, it's kind of unlucky to not draw your 9 of in the top, 14 cards. Oh, that barely won. That's not great. Just shows how little monsters we've actually drawn. Okay, game. I'm gonna need you to give me a fiend. I swear there's 9 of them in this deck. That would be another plant. Now, the AI does not play this smart, and would be just... It would be all over the place. There would be equips everywhere at this point. If it bricked this bad, it would not be pretty. Game. Please. Please. I'm begging you, game. It is literally a 9 and 22 to draw this right now. I have a 50-50 at this point. And I didn't draw it. Nice. So, yep, this is what happens sometimes, and I really feel bad about it, because this deck generally, when I was testing it, didn't do this badly, in terms of, not giving me what I was looking for. Oh, finally. The point where I'm going to start doing this again. Well, we'll be doing the fusion down on that Griggle, so... This shouldn't be too bad, because we just get to bait her AI terribly, I believe. So, we'll just do this, and then... We have finally drawn a singular fiend. We drew 1 in the top 20. That's absurd. At least the music's nice and chill for this one, and this also means that I won't have to go and do like 17 duels to try to get more than 10 minutes of runtime out of this video, so that's nice. Oh hey, look, it's cards that actually can be played. Yeah, I'm in a bit of a predicament here, because I have boxed myself in a bit. Which is pretty expected when this is your draw, so it's okay. We will get there. Hey, an Aqua Dragon. Goodbye, Aqua Dragon. Whatever monster she just played, that should be a monster. But maybe it's not. I do kind of need to check for a certain trap card that I assume she has in that deck of hers. Oh, we can do it with Karibo in a turn or two. I think this rainbow flower is not going to see the light of day ever again. I mean, it's stuck in the corner, so... So I think we'll just pass one turn. I don't know how many mirror walls she's gonna have, but I'm assuming it's at least one. Yeah, you can see my Karibo. Oh, you don't have a mirror wall, nor a negate attack. That's good for me. It's actually excellent for me. This pretty much means that she is doomed. Okay, so we'll just get this larva moth going. It would have taken a whole lot less time if that was usable earlier. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna move here. I am going to face up defense of Petite Moth that she'll attack. And her AI isn't smart enough to attack me in crushed terrain, so... Because it doesn't understand that it can hit over, or it can attack on, onto that terrain. It's quite silly. I did this a little wrong, but it's okay. We're fine. Bigger. Oh, hey. It's a spiked Seadra. I think it's gonna be quite big. Okay, that's fine. We still have 1,000 life points, which is more than enough to win this duel. Okay. So it's a speller trap behind that Thunder Nyan. So I am just going to plunge a Call of the Haunted into it. They just get rid of. Spring of Rebirth? Okay. So we only need to get one more, pretty much we need to attack over like one more creature and we'll win. Oh, a Sangha of Thunder. That sure is a choice. We're just going to do this. Oh, that's going to make a Mystical Sand. Whoops. I did not want to make a Mystical Sand. That is very, very unfortunate. We'll just pass. See what he does. Or what she does. That was an enormous mistake. This is why you can get away with decks that are this bad against the AI, easily. But maybe we'll be able to show a game where we don't just brick horrifically. But we have a couple equips to put on Rose Spectre and the fight's over. No matter how much life point gain you get, getting hit for 3,900 hurts. So, that was a very slow, very, very slow way to win that kind of matchup. You should be able to go a lot faster against most opponents. But your deck has to cooperate a little bit with this one, which is unfortunate. But, I mean, the point is to make an opponent for the player, and especially a deck like this that has a deck cost this low, you don't want it to be super consistent, because if it's super consistent, the player is just going to have a really bad time. So basically, we have Trent as a deck leader. This thing wrecks dragons, so don't play dragons against this guy. I guess we'll just go show off against Kaiba after this. So basically, there's 9 Fiends in the deck. All of them are basically the lowest deck cost you can get for Fiends. So that right there, it's like 90 deck cost worth of Fiends. Petite Moths, if you're going a little bit more consistent, and if you're trying to not use Weevil's AI, you have to replace these with like 3 plants and 3 more Fiends for the cocoons. Because the AI is notoriously awful at ever actually performing that fusion or using it, so yeah, you have to probably not use these. But if you're a player, this is what you'd use. And if you're giving him Weevil's AI, it'll use it, so I would probably go for Petite Moths. There's also no field change in this deck because it's supposed to be an enemy deck and they already have a good field. And field change is super expensive, so it's not going to happen. Muka Mukas, I only have 2 in here, but they are for... This is a really big late game bomb, if you don't accidentally fuse it into Mystical Sand. But the AI sure will do that for you. But this creature, in testing it, got to 8,000 attack a couple times, so, like, it's a 14 deck cost, 8,000 attack beat stick. It's pretty cheap, and we do a lot of fusing in this deck, so all of the fusion material that go to the graveyard count for this, as well as the fusion creature if you end up losing it. So Muka Muka gets really strong really quick. 3 Dark Plants, these were used in great effect, and probably the only thing that went well in that duel is these were used as removal. Just try to not crash with them. It hurts. Just defend with them and let them take it. But there's 9 plants here for fusion fodder. The Call of the Haunted are to deal with wasteland terrain. Definitely could just be replaced with equips if you're giving it to the AI. It would be slightly more expensive. Like 350 deck cost would probably be where you're going to end up at giving this to the AI, but it'll be more consistent for them. And then just 9 full equips, and then some curse breakers to keep down deck cost, and then cocoons. Other additions you could add like a Tears of the Mermaid and that kind of thing. They're super cheap traps. And Tears is super nice for slowing down opponents and setting up hitting over them, but I mean, this deck doesn't really need it too much if you're forcing your opponent to be a lower deck cost than you. Because, actually, let's go take on Bakura since he's dragons. So if your opponent's a lower deck cost than you, they are going to have a really hard time dealing with this deck. If you're stuck at 330 deck cost, the amount of stuff you can actually build for a deck is it's pretty abysmal, to be honest. It doesn't really matter how long we take to set up in this matchup because of our leader powers, so I'm not worried about basically anything happening here. But we've managed to not draw plants, but that's okay. We'll draw one, right? Oh, hey, we drew one. Good deck. Our little Blue Eyes Ultimate Rose Spectre here with 4,500 attack. Also, Call of the Haunted in this matchup's terrible because of the mountain terrain. But at least we're not unfavored on the terrain, so that's nice. Basically, just gonna set this Rose Spectre up to be bait for the other one. One great thing about this deck is we're never going to have summoning power problems because every single creature in this deck is low summoning power. Move this over, fuse it off. Okay. Oh, I didn't defend with the Rose Spectre that needed to... Oh, he didn't attack it. Okay. This is what we're working with, y'all. Oh, yeah. Well, rest in peace, opponent. I don't need to do any baiting in this one, because all of his dragons just get permanently spellbound. But yeah, we're just gonna make one big Rose Spectre, have a larva of moth that's gonna turn into a perfectly ultimate is backup. I mean, you can't really get better than that. Oh wow. Let's see how big this Muka Muka is this time. Oh, well, I guess we won't see, because our opponent's dead. But yeah, if you were to try to face this with, 329 deck cost, good luck. Especially, like, if you... Like, this is like your, like, it's like your, ninth opponent in the game? Eighth? And you're telling me you have to drop probably 400 deck costs from your starting deck? Maybe 500? To go play this guy? And then he's gonna pull out a 4,000 attack Rose Spectre on you? And you have to fight him on forest terrain, which is even more obnoxious. You can also switch out some of the weaker plants that don't have effects for things like Maneater and Laughing Flower and other stuff. I'm not doing that because I don't want to have that much deck cost, but I would definitely understand doing that. Okay, but your music is super loud. At least it is for me. It looks fine for you guys, so... Monster Eye has a great effect, so remember to use it if you want information. It's gonna be another game where we don't draw a plant. Nope, we drew plant. What I'm gonna do, I want to just get through some fiends, so I'm gonna just play it here. We need to draw an equip next turn, so that's fine. Although it doesn't really matter. Our leader power just kind of counters Kaiba completely. I am going to prioritize getting through my deck a little bit here. Yeah, leader powers like this are just really nasty. Especially when you can target opponents with them. I don't need this many Rose Vectors, so I'm just gonna send them away. Which is going to make the rest of my deck far less consistent, but that's okay. Our intent is to kill Kaiba here shortly. Just in case there's a Mirror Force or something silly, you just do this. Now we'll start moving forward, and we'll see if we can snare any dragons in our leader power. Hey, we snared a dragon. We might crash here. Nope, we win. Come on, Kaiba, what's there to be scared of? Oh, you're dead. So, I mean, if you give this deck a little bit of time to unbrick itself, if it does brick, sometimes the deck just opens with a, 3 equips and a Rose Vector, and then your opponent just cries, but kind of just how reality is for decks of this cost. Hitting 3 in a row that I don't need. You're using a save file that just has everything. So yeah, it just is an obnoxious deck that plays a whole lot of, it just plays a whole lot of big plants. Unfortunately, it is a little bit bricky. It was a little brickier here in this video than when I tested it originally, but I mean, that's just kind of RNG hates me, so it's pretty typical. So yeah. Let me know if there's anything you guys would change, anything, any recommendations in the comments below, but if you're giving this to, if you were to give something like this to the AI, the player is not going to have a nice time. Like, I mean, the Gemini Challenge mod already has this deck at 380 deck cost, and it's not nice. It's not easy to go deal with, so it's definitely a challenge to go beat up Bakura, so this is just something to think about, and it's always easier to, you can always make a cheap deck, so, but this is one of the cheapest decks you can make, and it's one of the cheapest you can make that's actually effective. So, yeah, thank you all for watching, and have a nice day.